Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, happy Tuesday, happy whatever day it is you're listening to this. Welcome back to the Flow with the Grow podcast. If you're new here, as always, as I like to say, hello, big welcome. My name is Sophia. I also go by Sophie, Soph. And this is a podcast for all things wellness, whether that's fitness, nutrition, mindset, mental health, bringing on guests to talk about their experiences and their perspectives, helping you to grow through life and to grow through life's challenges, the ups, the downs, all of it. Today, I want to talk more and speak more into exercise. So if you haven't already heard, but as you probably know, exercise has a lot of benefits. And I want to today actually share with you 20 unexpected reasons to exercise that have nothing to do with weight loss. I truly believe that if we can make the connection outside of working out so how working out and exercise can benefit us just in our day-to-day lives, like making that connection outside of our weight loss or fat loss goals, outside of the goal that we have that might be physical body related. It helps us to make this be more consistent. It helps us to get our minds off of the number on the scale. It helps us to focus on the positive things versus where we are not at yet, maybe, and helps us to kind of just steer away from those negative thoughts that we might have in our head. And so these 20 reasons I'm going to share with you are actually all true and based off of things that I've heard from working with past clients and just random wins and reasons and benefits that they have experienced that they noticed outside of our training sessions. And some of them I'm like, wow, really? Reasons that I have never thought of before or would have thought of, and they're very specific to just day-to-day life. And I'm hoping that these are reasons that you maybe haven't really ever heard of before, and then hopefully will help you. And I want to encourage you to kind of reflect on your journey. Maybe you're just starting, maybe you've been starting, maybe you started at the beginning of the year, maybe you've been doing this for a little bit, but thinking about and being more mindful of the things that are changing outside of your workouts and outside of your physical body, like the weight loss goals that you have or the fat loss goals that you have, or maybe you're wanting to build more muscle, but just trying to be more mindful and aware of the other things that are happening that are a benefit to exercising and versus just, like I said, the physical body. So, okay, here we go. Number 1, improved posture. And by the way, this is in no specific order. It's just kind of what I was thinking about at the time. But improved posture, this is honestly the number one thing that I would say all of my clients tell me. And the soonest, the earliest win is that they have better posture. They realize it at work. They realize it just day to day. And then because of that, they have more confidence. They just come off more confident and their attitude is shifting because of that posture. They notice that they're not leaning forward or arching their back or in that slumped position. They are just noticing that they have better posture, or other people have told them that they have better posture. Number 2, getting up from the ground easier. One goal that I have for myself and in my life is to always be able to get up and down off the ground, despite my age. I have seen older women, older men who cannot get up and down off the ground, but then I've seen men and women that same age, older, and they're able to do it. And I think it's so important to do exercises that are specific to this, but also just through exercise, this can help a lot, or just exercise can help a lot with getting up and down from the ground. And we do that so often, right? If you have kids, grandkids, maybe you want to play with them on the ground and then you need to get back up. Then you need to get back up. Maybe you fall and trip or whatever it is, and you're able to get back up easier. And there's just so many things that we get up and down off the ground, or that we get down on the ground to sit, whatever it is, and then getting back up. It's just something that seems kind of simple, but also it can be something that we can't do, and it limits us from things that we can or can't do. Number 3, using your core and your legs to pick up heavy things and not having back pain with that. So I remember like growing up and just getting involved in exercise and strength training programs and things like that. I was never really taught like how to pick things up. I think that it's so much easier, maybe not easier, but it's just more of an automatic thing to just like bend over and pick up and use our back. And like, we just don't know how to use those muscles properly. If you ever have a baby around, right? Like they are a great example of how we should be able to move. Like and I know it's different because they're just so flexible and mobile and whatever, but because of society and sitting jobs and whatever, like we get so tight. And when they go to pick things up or look at something on the ground even, like they are squatting, they're in a squat position. And so being able to do this, even when you're older, is important. So instead of bending down to pick up, like maybe you're moving and you're picking a box up, instead of bending over and using your back, like being able to just automatically use your legs and use your core. And when we exercise, if you're strength training and not doing just straight cardio or steady state cardio, you should be able to just kind of naturally fall into this, I guess, or naturally obtain this benefit or whatever, if you're not having someone that's specifically teaching you how to use your core and use your legs to pick things up. Because we have to pick up weights from the ground and barbells and deadlifts and things like that. So it's just kind of like a natural thing that we tend to start doing. So using your core and your legs to pick up heavy things and not having back pain. Number 4, having more strength and energy to help a family member move from one house to another. This was a very specific example, obviously, because I said helping a family member move, but this could be you moving yourself or helping a friend or like just moving stuff around in your home, like whatever it is. But the reason I included this was because I did have a client one time. He is older and he was helping I believe it was his son, move from one house to another. And he just told me that he noticed that he had more strength and he had more energy to do those things. Like it was just like kind of an easy thing for him to do, moving in boxes and furniture and all of those things. And moving around or moving things in our home tends to be something that either people want to do or eventually you will do. Number 5, having more stability on your tippy toes when putting Christmas lights up. Again, another super specific example. I would also say another one that is kind of similar to this is if you are on an airplane and you are putting something in the overhead bin, but you're kind of short, you have to stand on your tippy toes. Well, you're stronger, you have more balance, you have more stability, you're maybe using your core muscles. Like that's kind of what I'm talking about too with the like getting the lights up. This came from a couple clients actually, who specifically one of them told me that she was putting up lights, and also there was one that was in an airplane putting something up in the overhead bin. And because we had been doing calf raises, she wasn't as sore. They didn't hurt. They didn't get as tired as in the past when she was doing those things. She felt like she had more like core strength and stability and balance when doing all of that. Number 6, not getting injured as easily. When you're exercising more, when you're strengthening muscles, when you are working on mobility and flexibility, it's a lot more likely that you will reduce your risk of injury. I had a client who she got, in the very beginning, she was very like kind of adamant about the fact that she wanted to be able to have less injuries, and she was injury prone and she was kind of nervous about getting injuries. But what we found over time was that because she was lifting weights, because she was exercising more, she actually had a quicker recovery and she hadn't had near as much injuries. She had none. I think maybe there was only like a couple things that happened, but she noticed that she was not as injury prone as before. Like before, it was very prevalent. And then after starting to work out and exercise, that was just kind of like non-existent, which is really cool to hear. Number 7, being able to carry more bags of groceries. Kind of funny, but it's so true. We do what's called farmer's carries, or I like to implement dumbbell carries, kettlebell carries, whatever, into my programming because it's so related to everyday life. Like when we're carrying groceries, like I will legit think about and tell my clients this, like think about like you are carrying heavy groceries when you're carrying 2 heavy dumbbells at your sides. And so we're trying to engage our core and have proper posture. And then when we're stronger in that, we're able to carry more groceries at one time. And so it's just a very, like I said, day-to-day life related activity, I guess, that we do pretty often. Number 8, more effective work. Whether you work from home, whether you work in an office, like you will just be more productive when you are exercising more often. You'll have more energy, you will be more productive, and you'll just be more effective. Number 9, thinking and talking more positive about yourself. This is probably one of my favorites when clients tell me that they have just kind of a shift in their attitude when it comes to that. And not just a shift in their attitude, but their thoughts it's just easier to just focus on having more positive thinking about themselves, whether it is their body or just in general. Number 10, also a favorite, other people noticing a shift in your attitude and your presence. It's pretty dang cool when someone comes up to you and tells you like, wow, you have such a shift in your attitude and in your perspective and presence. Like, I want that. And they notice that energy, like it's just beaming from you. Energy is felt. And so when someone else can feel that, that's pretty amazing. Moving on to number 11, having more balance. I know I've kind of already mentioned this, but it's not just when we're, on our tippy toes, but it's just when we're walking. It's when we are maybe having, I don't know, for whatever reason on a single leg for, I don't even know an example of that exactly. But there's some people who I've met with and clients in the past that they have just horrible balance. Maybe it's going up and down stairs. Maybe it's just picking things up from the ground, like just doing different things. Just overall, in general, they do not have good balance. So by exercising over time, it is, again, so cool to see how much more balance someone has after exercising more and more. Number 12, seeing more opportunities. I 100% believe that if we're negative and we're thinking that there's no opportunities for us, well, that's what we're going to get. You're not going to get opportunities because that's what you're looking for. That's what you're focusing on. So that's what you're going to get. But when we are exercising, then everything that I've mentioned already is happening. Okay. So just kind of more positive overall, but you just start to see more opportunities present themselves to you because of maybe that shift in mindset or attitude. But also this kind of moves into my next one, number 13, shifting your perspective to a more optimistic view. I also believe that if we are more optimistic at, most of the time, I'm not saying all of the time, we have to be positive, happy-go-lucky, look for the good in things and the silver lining. I think that there's totally a benefit to that. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? I don't want to find the silver lining in this. But when you shift your perspective to a more optimistic view, more of the time, life is more fun. It's more joyful. It's more enjoyable. It's lighter. It's more freeing. And then that's where we can also see the opportunities and choose to see the opportunities more of the time. Number 14, being more kind to others. And number 15, being more kind to yourself. There's just something about the endorphins of exercise that just a person will just automatically be nicer and be kinder to people, and you will be kinder to yourself. Number 16, increased libido. Yes, had to put this one in here because so many people I think actually struggle with this, and exercise can help with this. Not only exercise, but in turn, who doesn't want increased libido? Am I right? All right, number 17, making more money. And I say this because when you are more productive at work, you're more effective at work, you are kinder, you have a different shift in attitude, like all these things are kind of adding up to this, but you will make more money. Maybe not just like instantly, bam, right then and there. It may take time, but it can happen. Number 18, taking more risks. Whether that is moving to a different town, maybe that's changing your environment, maybe it is changing your job, maybe it is starting that side hobby or side hustle that you've been wanting to start. Maybe it's getting that certification that you've always wanted. Maybe it is taking that trip that you've always wanted. Just in general, taking more risks. Number 19, not caring about what others think of you. I think that once you are exercising more, you also gain this confidence about you that will then help you to just really not care what other people are thinking of you because of the shift in attitude, the shift in perspective. Like, you want to be around people who support you, who uplift you. And you also recognize that you can't make everyone happy. You recognize that not everyone will like you. And when you have this confidence about yourself, it really doesn't matter what other people think. And last one, number 20, less pain and tightness. So to be honest, I've kind of taken a step back from working out. I go at least 3 times a week, usually 3 to 4, but sometimes honestly 1 or 2. And I notice that I am actually tighter, or I'll get more sore just even not working out. And I knew this before too, because I would always have clients say to me that they are tight and their muscles hurt and joints hurt, but they don't exercise. Our bodies are made to move, and when we create energy, we get more energy. But also when we move more and we give that to our bodies and exercise, we won't be as tight. And I guess, there's a lot at play here, like working on hip mobility and just different things that way. But through exercise, you will also experience less pain and less tightness overall. So that's my 20. Let's do just a quick recap. So 20 unexpected reasons to exercise that have nothing to do with weight loss. Number 1, improved posture. Number 2, getting up from the ground easier. Number 3, using your core and legs to pick up heavy things and not having back pain. Number 4, having more strength and energy to help a family member move from one house to another. Number 5, having more stability on your tippy toes when putting Christmas lights up. Number 6, not getting injured as easily. Number 7, being able to carry more bags of groceries. Number 8, more effective work. Number 9, thinking and talking more positive about yourself. Number 10, other people noticing a shift in your attitude and presence. Number 11, having more balance. Number 12, seeing more opportunities. Number 13, shifting your perspective to a more optimistic view. Number 14, being more kind to others. Number 15, being more kind to yourself. Number 16, increased libido. Number 17, making more money. Number 18, taking more risks. Number 19, not caring about what others think of you. And number 20, less pain and tightness. So I hope that through this, you can and will, I encourage you to, number 1, move your body more, exercise more. But number 2, and most importantly, my goal is for you to start viewing exercise as something that can benefit your day-to-day life, day-to-day activities, and not just focusing on the number on the scale, not just focusing on your physical body, not just focusing on that weight loss goal or that fat loss goal. And then helping you, in turn, to have this be consistent and sustainable. If you resonated with this in any way, I would encourage you to share this with a friend, a family member, somewhere on social media. Maybe someone else needs to hear this as well if it kind of was an eye-opener for you. And if you are not yet a part of this, I have a free community on Facebook. It is the Food Freedom and Muscle Building Solutions Facebook group. I go live every week and do a live training, something on food, nutrition, fitness, mindset. I create free guides in there, and it's just a great community if you are wanting to be healthier overall, and if you're wanting to improve your relationship with food and with whatever goal that you have within health, within wellness, and you want it to be sustainable. I will link that in the show notes. Otherwise, you can also find me on Instagram at Sophia_Dawn41. That's SOPHIA_DAWN41. And as well on Facebook. Again, all of that will be linked in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here, for listening. As always, I appreciate you. I love you. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, week, weekend. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Flow with the Grow. I'll see you next week for your daily dose of positivity and growth.